morning and good evening. Thank you for giving me a chance to present my knowledge and skill. My name is. Before starting this presentation, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm teaching server hardware and software, client, internet networking equipment like switch, router, and also programming language about 20 years as an instructor and training manager. So prerequisite of this presentation is I suppose that you already knows about the basic of TCP/IP. Now the purpose of this presentation is today I'm going to explain about what is VoIP and what is SIP. When you successfully finish this presentation, you can explain about what is VoIP and what is SIP. Now today's agenda, there are two items on the agenda for this presentation. One is what is VoIP. The next is what is SIP. So about the question, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me at any time. So now let's move on. The first topic, what is VoIP? VoIP, voice over IP, is a technology to communicate by voice as a digital data on the IP packet. The component of the VoIP is a user agent or VoIP adapter. It has the function of voice to convert analog data to digital data and divided each data by fixed size, then encapsulate to the IP packet. Those IP packets are transferred by RTP, real-time transport protocol, to the peer user agent. So this VoIP model is a peer-to-peer communication. So each peer, each user agent need to know their IP address, but originally they don't know each other. So they need to help to resolve the IP address. So the mechanism, the protocol is a SIP, Session Initiation Protocol. So let me provide a bit more detail on this. This type of telephone is called UA, User Agent or VoIP Adapter. IP packets are transported by RTP, real-time transport protocol. RTP is controlled by RTCP, RTP control protocol. So question, do you have any questions? Does RTP is handled by TCP/IP? That's good question. I'd like to get back to you via email after I found out the answer. So please tell me your email address after this class. Now the answer is no. RTP is handled by UDP because the UDP is more quickly to transport a packet than TCP/IP. That's all I have to say about this topic. What is VoIP? Now let's move on the next agenda. What is SIP? SIP means Session Initiation Protocol. VoIP user agent exchange IP packets by RTP by themselves directly using each IP address. But before start their communication, each UA need to know the IP address of each other. SIP helps to start the communication. SIP component are SIP server, user agent, and protocol. Before explain a detail about the SIP, I'd like to explain about the protocol stack. The layer 1 and the layer 2 is the Ethernet or wireless, etc. Layer 3 is the IP, and layer 4 is TCP or UDP. Layer 5 is HTTP, SMTP, SIP, RTP, RTCP. HTTP is very famous for bringing the web access data. SMTP is Simple Mail Transport Protocol for mail systems. Now, the next is SIP components. User agent is something like application on a PC. It is called PC soft phone. And in the server side, there is a proxy server, redirect server, registrar server, and the location server. Now, I'd like to explain each by each. So the first component is a registrar server. Registrar server is get a request from the UA. UA want to know the IP address of the other peers UA's IP address. So the UA asked register server. And the first step is register my UA's IP address to the location server. So the UA send their information to the registrar server. Registrar server forwarded the IP address of UA to the location server. So if you want to communicate with the other UA, the other UA is already registered at the location server. So when finished the registration, all the UA's IP address and also the SIP name and the domain name is registered at the location server. The next component is SIP proxy server. SIP proxy server is a proxy to access the location server. So when you want to call the other UA, you need to know the IP address of the UA. So you ask the IP address to the location server. But normally, the middle of the UA and the location server is located at the proxy server. So UA asked proxy server the IP address of the the peer's IP address. So proxy server asks location server about the IP address of the peer's IP address. When get the IP address from the location server, the proxy server told the IP address to the request UA. The next component is SIP redirect server. Redirect server is just forward the asking about the location. Then, so the UA asked redirect server. Redirect server asked location server the IP address. So location server replied to redirect server. Then redirect server replied to the UA. When UA get the IP address, UA start the communication with the other peers UA using the IP address. So next step, I'd like to explain about the protocol, the communication protocol, each component. Here is UA and the opposite is another UA. And the mid of the communication, there is a SIP proxy server. When UA want to start the communication, UA send a SIP invite command to the SIP proxy server. Then proxy server forward the invite request to the other SIP proxy server. Then the SIP proxy server send the invite request to the UA, opposite side of UA. UA, if someone pick up the phone, UA send the 200 OK command, SIP command to the proxy server. Proxy server then forward the 200 OK command to the the other SIP proxy server. This SIP proxy server forward the 200 OK command to the original UA. Then original UA then acknowledge the command to the other peers UA using the IP address. Then start the communication by each other using the RTP and also the RTCP. When one side of the UA finish the calling, it sends the bye command to the other peers UA. That UA acknowledge the request by request. It sends the 200 OK to command for the original UA. Then finish the communication. And there is one issue about the NAT, network address translation, because the NAT convert the function of the NAT is originally convert to the private IP address, then to the global IP address, because in the internet the IP address only the global IP address. Private address cannot use the communication in the internet. So but the local area network, the most of PC are using the private IP address. So the NAT is convert to the local IP address to the global IP address. If the UA is located in the private IP segment and the proxy server is located on the global network, the SIP request need to translate SIP request to local private IP address need to convert to the global IP address. So that function is used by NAT. Let me explain using the whiteboard. This is a packet from UA to the proxy server. The header of the SIP protocol has a destination IP and also source IP, and the content contains the SIP information. The first information is source IP of the UA. The NAT just translate the destination IP to source IP, then forward it to the proxy server. When the request get by proxy server, it modified the destination IP address using the SIP source IP. But this source IP is local, the private IP address. So destination is private address and the source is global IP address. This type of the information is invalid in a global segment. So the reply packet does not reach the destination UA. This is a problem. The solution of that issue is mainly two. One is universal plug and play, UPnP, and the other one is a simple traversal of UPD through NAT. Okay, let me quickly summarize the topic. What is IP? VoIP. VoIP is voice over IP. It defines the process of voice to IP data. The next the item is what is SIP. SIP is Session Initiation Protocol. It defines the protocol of control the VoIP session. VoIP data is transported by RTP, real-time transport protocol. So the session control and the data transport is different. So that's all of my presentation. Thank you very much for taking your time to listen to my presentation. Thank you.